Do you think we're doing enough? If we're getting slightly better now at starting to get some of the younger talent in, are we doing enough to retain them at that sort of early career stage? I've still seen some people who do a year or two and then pop off to go and do something else, which is obviously then a disaster. We've done the hard work getting them in, but are we doing enough to keep people interested? And
I think you can always do a bit more. I think it's understanding what is it that motivates that individual. Is it career progression? Is it, for some people it will be salary, but for most people it's a sense of forward momentum, and how are you delivering that? And is that you're finding other opportunities within your organisation to keep that person interested? I know for me, I would have definitely left. I mean, our previous employer, after 8 years, if they hadn't have said, well, actually, we don't want you to leave, why don't you think about doing this? And it wasn't something I'd necessarily thought about. So I think as an employer, we've got to understand what the individual's actually looking for. The individual may not be fully aware of what the range of opportunities might be, or what might be a best fit for their skill set. So mentor, talk to people and try and match them up. I think being a manager is a matchmaking service often, because you have to try and find the right people in the right homes at the right time. And sometimes that might not be a job that they've ever thought about doing. I mean, I had a colleague once and they thought that underwriting was the place for them. Actually, I explained, well, what is it you like about your current permanent change? I'm not sure you're going to get that from underwriting. So, actually this person's now in distribution, and that's been a really good fit for them. So I think sometimes it's okay, what is it you like? What is it you're looking for? Okay, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And, and a few years later, that person's still with the organisation. Another thing that my company's doing recently, which I really loved, is we've launched like this international young professionals network. So they're visiting different offices as a group. And there's probably like 20 to 30 in terms of age range. It might be first or second job. But again, it's about trying to encourage that networking within an organisation, encouraging that loyalty, that feeling of investment in them, and that we value them. And I think, that all helps in terms of the retention levels.
I'm so glad to hear that employers are doing more of that now. And I mean, even a past company, they were doing a fair amount of it, but I think there's still a lot, as you said, as well, placed on the manager, and a lot of responsibility, and making sure, as you said, you are matching them up and people are getting developed in the right way. And actually, development conversations are development conversations. I've definitely not had that all the way through my career, and there's been some points where development conversations happen once a year because you've got to feel like you're planned so that you can tick a box.
But having said that, on the development side of things, I'm a firm believer you have to own your own development, right? It's not going to come on a silver plate and be handed to you that here's your next opportunity. You've got to work for it, you've got to earn it, and you've got to push for things.
Yeah, you own your own development, but you're certainly enabled by your manager to go on that path. And as you said, I've had an interesting career as well. I've shifted from actuarial into more of a strategic role, and then out into underwriting, and got to experience all of these cool different things. But that was off the back of conversations with people who helped guide me and help understand where I could sort of add some value and where I actually really enjoyed working. And I never dreamed as when I was sort of head of pricing whether I would actually go into underwriting, but that was an amazing experience and something I wish I'd done something earlier.
Well, I went from chief underwriting officer into head of operations. Not your most obvious move, So and that was chief underwriting officer for energy. But I think putting one freebie out there really for anybody in a manager, recognition that comes for free. That doesn't cost anything, and quite often is one of the things that people are looking for is some sort of recognition, some sort of degree of thank you or appreciation, or just being noticed. And that's at a low cost to an organisation. If people are leaving your organisation because they feel not seen or not visible or neglected, then you really haven't got too much of an excuse for that one.